What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another B&H Reptiles video. I'm Brian.
And I'm Hannah.
And again, we're B&H Reptiles.
In today's video, we're going to show you guys how we make a rack, just using like a cheap little plastic rack we got from Lowe's, and we cut it down some to make it fit and be space efficient. And it's just a real easy way to keep your snakes all in a good spot and keep them all together without taking up a bunch of space. And it's also cost friendly. So
sit back, put your feet up, relax, and enjoy the show. Cue the intro. Alright guys, so like we were saying in the beginning of the video, today we're going to show you how we take an ordinary rack and how we're doing it here at B&H Reptiles by taking an everyday plastic rack that you can get from Lowe's or Home Depot and turning it into our snake rack. We don't have a big building that we can use to make into a snake room or a snake building. We don't have a whole lot of space here in the house where we can just separate an entire room and turning it into a snake room per se. So we always make sure that, you know, our snakes are still going to have healthy and a nice hot spot. The house does stay warm enough throughout the day to where it's not going to cause them any harm. Their body temperature doesn't get down anywhere below 85 degrees on a daily basis. So what we'll do is we're going to measure our distance between each level of the rack, and then we're going to measure how much space, how much we need to cut off of our ordinary stands. So give me a minute and we'll get right back to it. Alright, so I figured we already did this shelf right here. We already cut these first four posts. So we want about 8 inches in between the bottom of this rack and the top of the top shelf. So right now we're at 8 1/4, which is perfect. That's exactly where we want it. So the number that I figured was about 7 inches taken off from the top of your post.
Yeah.
So I just measured down 7 inches. I'm going to mark it here, and then I'm going to cut it. And then how I figured it is because I need my tallest rack. My tallest tub is 7 inches tall. So now this one's about 7 inches from the bottom, 7.5. It gives me about a 1/2 inch, 3/4 of an inch difference between now what this one and what the bottom of this shelf will be, which will be perfect enough to be able to slide it in and out and have enough room to take it out and check on the snake. So now that we got all of our posts marked out, we've got them all marked out about 7 inches from the top, not the bottom where it goes into the, you know, the stand part, but 7 inches from the top. Then I'm just taking a normal hacksaw with a fine blade, going to cut into it and see what happens. Last time I tried using a Sawzall, but it started chipping off pieces of the stand, and I didn't like that too much. So we'll use a hacksaw. Take a little longer, but we'll see what happens. It'll look better on the end. Not too bad, pretty straight. My line was crookeder than my cut was. So got 4 more to do. Catch up to you when we get those 4 done.
You started for me.
Let's see how the missus does trying to cut one for herself.
Thank you.
Look at that laser focus. Look at that.
Oops.
Look at that, girl. Alright, so as you can see, now that we've got both levels cut, both sets, look how much shorter and how much more access we can have if we want to decide to add more levels. We can even cut down this base level now if we decide to, and that'll drop it down another 7 inches. And that'll give us, we still have another shelf that we can put on here, and it'll bring it up to here, and then we can add another shelf if need be, and it's still at eye level. So this is how we've started. This is how we're doing our snake shelves for the moment until we can get a chance to buy an actual snake rack. But there's nothing wrong with doing it this way. We call it snaking on a budget. We got family, just like a lot of other people do, but we also can't afford at the moment to buy a lot of the high dollar snake racks. So this is how we're going to do it. You can put your heat tape on it just like we're going to do. I'll show you guys also how we do that. And then this is it. This is our snake rack for now. Alright guys, so now that we've got our base set for our rack, now it's time to install our heat tape. So I take our heat tape, which we get from Reptile Supplies on the internet. You can buy it. They send it to you in 12-inch sections, or you can ask for however long you need it. I always usually get a couple feet at a time, so that way I can cut it for however long of a piece I need. I usually do extend it out from my tub just by like an inch or two, so that way it gets enough heat flow across the bottom of the tub. I also get my wires. You can buy wire setups from them with already eyelets pre-made into the wire itself, so then that way I can just plug it right into my thermostat and it's ready to go. But now also what I'm going to do is I also take the aluminum heat tape, the aluminum tape that you would use for like the top of your enclosure, and I set a layer down across the edge here, and then I set a layer down just off the edge here and across the side. I never put it on the top where my connections are, because it's aluminum tape. It could cause issues with your connection, or it could cause a fire. But I also wrap these with electrical tape as well, so that way I have no chance of it coming in contact with that aluminum tape. So that's how we do it. That's how all the other racks are done here, other sections. We have no issues out of it. I've never had an issue with arcing or anything coming undone. And all of our snakes, their hot spots are about 91, 92 degrees at the most. It seems to be working perfect. So as you can see, this is how it'll look when you're done installing the heat tape down. Got your tape holding it down on the side and on each edge here. And then like I said, I don't have any that's near the connection right here, so that way it has no chance of arcing. What's going on, guys? So real quick, we're setting up a new tub. I ended up finally getting a solder iron, so that way I can make the holes a little more cleaner. As you can see, we just take the solder iron, melt it into the sides, and it makes perfect little uniform holes. I think it looks cleaner. I think it looks a little bit better. So what I'll do is on the front here, I'll go ahead and show you how I do it real quick. So basically, you just get the solder hot, take it over top of where you want it, and just kind of let it melt in, and then just kind of mush it to flatten out the puddle, because you don't want a puddle of plastic sitting over top of it. And you can do as many holes as you feel necessary to allow ventilation and air to get into your tubs. I do about 5 in the front, but I do it on both sides. And then we do about 9 on the sides, 3 rows of 9 and then 3 rows of 5. And that's how we, our Repti-Chip or cocoa husk doesn't dry out real fast that way, and it also doesn't build a lot of humidity. It stays right around 70% on a daily basis, and that's with getting it wet like once a week. Alright guys, again, thank you for watching another one of our videos.
And please remember to like,
comment,
and subscribe if you haven't already.
and if you have some friends, also get them to subscribe too.
Yeah.
And again, send us a comment on what you'd like to see in any other future videos, and hit that like button. Enjoy your day.